I think I know what birth feels like at this point.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
Okay, guys. Welcome back to...
Damn, why am I out of breath as if I just I was holding my breath for you.
We're filming today in the middle of Antarctica. Literally,
You know what?
it feels like it.
I did make... That was like the third point that I added to this, but let's just talk
Really?
about that for a second.
Yeah, how like we were hit by probably the worst storm we've seen in a while. It was the storm was so bad, I started having bad dreams about shoveling. I woke up in the middle of the night last night thinking that it snowed again and I had to shovel again.
That's such a Canadian nightmare.
Like I actually had sweats and stuff of me having to shovel
What?
again.
It's
I don't know
not
what
that
it was. I don't know what it was.
serious. I mean,
It was so bad.
honestly,
so
I
bad.
can't relate because I don't shovel. I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly. See, I saw a video about this.
So did
this
I.
is when feminism really just takes a backseat
But you know what?
to the conversation, huh?
Shoveling snow
Mm-hmm.
is on the same level as throwing out the trash.
What?
Yeah. It's not a woman's job.
Wait, no, but yeah, that's the whole thing. That's the whole argument where they're saying oh, okay, I guess we don't really make that argument, but feminists do. And I guess you don't really identify as a feminist.
Yeah, I
So
don't.
even though feminism in itself is it has different meanings, so probably the meaning that you think feminism has is different from what feminism really is. So you have a skewed idea of what it is.
Why are you just assuming that? I could have the right idea.
Do you know what feminism is?
Yeah, I think before it kind of got to the extreme version of it.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something stuck in my throat.
That's what did she find in your But you know what? Okay, can I tell you what feminism was when I read a book about it was described as? It's not only fighting for the rights of equality for women, but it's fighting for equality for all people. But it's just given the name of feminism. Because
really? Since I think that's a new thing, I think.
yeah, it's probably new age feminism.
Yeah, that's not what it was before.
Yeah, because initially it did start out as the feminist movement did fight start out with women fighting for the right to vote and all of that.
Yeah.
But then we found out that those leaders were actually racist and they're really just fighting for the right for white women to vote
Right,
and not really people of color.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, and then new age feminism is more we want everyone to have equal rights, whether you're black, white, whatever you identify, all those things.
Okay, yeah, I feel like that came in the more recent years.
Yeah, exactly.
To include everyone.
Yeah, so you just
outside
don't
of the
like
women.
old school feminism, if that makes sense.
No,
Or
I
if
mean, I
that's-
just feel like the radical feminists,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say the idea or the belief behind radical feminism kind of pushes the boundaries. It's no longer just equality,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also they're equating, a man's capability to a woman's capability,
Yeah.
physically speaking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly.
And if we're thinking about the biological makeup of men and women, we're not equal.
yeah, but
And
do you think
may
that it's
piss off some people that are listening to this, but it's the truth. It's the truth. We're not made equal. Your physical strength and my okay. Let's pretend you don't go to the gym and you're not 0% body fat or whatever. Let's just pretend we're on pretty average similar fitness
Mm-hmm.
levels.
Yeah.
I still think I believe that we still wouldn't be on the same level. Are there some women who are stronger than the average man?
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, probably, but you know,
but you're talking about the extremes, right? So
yeah.
is it right to blanket a whole group with the ideas of the extremists by saying okay, because the extremists say these things or come out with these statements, the whole group, we're gonna cut off the whole group?
That's not fair because
Right?
that's similar to Islam.
Exactly.
Does ISIS represent Islam? And I know that's a huge extreme.
Yeah.
They don't represent Islam. Same
Mhm.
thing with other terrorist groups within
Exactly.
that fall under the Islamic umbrella because of what the media portrays it as.
Yeah.
It doesn't equate to the same thing. So radical feminists that have very
Mhm.
extreme views don't represent the everyday middle ground of feminism.
Yeah. But now you're a case of someone who doesn't like to identify with that group because of the extremists.
Not necessarily. I just think that my beliefs that are influenced by religion, culture, and my society that I grew up in just doesn't align with feminist ideologies.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
fair
like
enough. I don't know how we went down
I don't
that
disagree
tangent.
with every single feminist belief. Like sometimes
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you know, women should have the right to vote. Women should have equal opportunities. Women should make the same dollar as a man. I understand those things, but I'm not really the one that's like advocating for, you know, let me not get into that actually.
You know what's funny? Like I'm being like devil's advocate here.
You believe the same thing as me.
Yeah, I'm not even. I wouldn't even identify with the feminist movement as much. I would identify more with like the new age feminism that was described in the book over there. I wish I could see the title right now. It has a red backing. I don't know if you can see it over there. I'm really bad with names. I wish I could see them better.
And you have way too many books for me to like pinpoint. But
it's all good. Small. But yeah, you know, we went on a tangent here. We're talking about how we're living in the middle of a tundra right now.
Yes. Back to what we were. I don't even know how we got into feminism.
Yeah, I don't know how either.
Okay. Before we get into our actual topics, we're just going to do a quick intro.
Should we do an intro?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay.
Say hello to our
Welcome
people.
back to
hey
the
guys.
Cousin
Connection
podcast.
Before you go and listen to the rest of this episode, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Just do that. Subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your children.
We're so close to 3,000.
Friends.
We're so close to 3,000.
Yeah. And then we're going to go for 4,000. Okay. The train don't stop at 3,000. We're going all the way. Okay?
Remember, if you want to be under the 5K club, now is your time to subscribe. We see y'all. Y'all just watch. You search us up, but you never subscribe. So,
you know, there might be something in it for, you know, once we get to 3,000, you know, just saying.
We hinted at it.
Ends with a away.
But anyways. Let's get into this episode.
Yeah. So, on Friday, you know, we got the opportunity. We were invited by a good friend of the pod, someone we've had on before, Hassan Phills, aka the comedian, aka another scholar man coming down from the East End. I don't know, but essentially he was filming his special. So he hit us up and he's like, "Hey guys, I'd like you guys to come and, you know, take part in this filming of the special and you know, come out to support." And of course that's what we did, right?
Exactly.
And he set this out like a couple weeks ahead, or maybe like a week ahead, something like that.
It was like he reached out a while ago, and so we got to support our people. You know, we're proud of him. It was really cool to, like, the setup was sick.
Exactly.
I have photos that you could insert.
Okay, they're perfect.
So you could
what?
You have to see what happened to you. You got stuck. You didn't even like really get to experience it the way that I did.
Oh yeah. Okay, we're jumping ahead. Okay, so
fine. I know.
So we were invited to the show, but one thing we didn't take into account is that, like, Toronto weather be wilding sometimes. Okay.
Yeah.
And literally the same night as his first opening show, where he's gonna be filming this, like crew and all, we get the worst storm this city has recorded, snowstorm the city has recorded in like years, to the point where I didn't know this was a thing. What? There was thunder and lightning occurring in the storm. That's how bad it was. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, everyone at the same time found out that could happen.
Did you, because I know like there were a lot of news reports during the day saying like, you know, stay home, there's a big weather warning, but the whole day, like, the skies were clear. Well, it wasn't clear,
it was gray.
But it was like there was no sign of a storm. There was, you know what
exactly.
I mean?
Literally 1 hour. Okay, there was actually, I went to the gym because I preemptively was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the gym today. I usually don't go on Fridays. I went ahead of time because I knew that the next day at least there might be a storm. I might not be able to make it. So I pull up to the gym, and I'm thinking that by the time I get out, it's like 5 o'clock. By the time I get out around 7 o'clock, the storm would at least somewhat start, right? And then I pull up and come out, and I'm like, it's actually like it's not that bad. Like, it's still pretty warm too. I didn't see a drop of snow coming out. So I was like, okay, maybe, you know, everything will go off without a hitch, right?
Right.
So I pull up to the house. It's like 7:05, 7:10 about that point. And I take a shower, get dressed. I'm out in like 10-15 minutes. I take a quick shower, change quickly.
Yeah.
Literally in that 10 minutes, there's already like 2 or 3 inches of snow. I'm like, how is this even possible? And
because you got into the shower, it was clear. You came out and you're like, what?
Exactly. I didn't even look outside yet. Like, I had my blinds closed and everything.
Yeah.
I stepped outside and expecting it to look like exactly how I left it 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. But it was already starting to like blanket the snow, and it was like windy, and it was the heavy snow too. Wasn't that light snow where it's like coming down light? It's heavy snow because I think it was mixed a little bit with like rain or frozen rain.
Yeah.
So it stuck right away.
Yeah.
And, you know, I start making my way. I'm like slipping and sliding.
Do you have winter tires?
Yeah, I have winter tires.
Okay, good.
So I was actually doing pretty well the whole time.
Yeah.
But the moment I got downtown, like when I was getting close to the venue,
the
roads were already slick, like almost like everything was black ice.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
I had a different experience.
Oh, well, I guess maybe it wasn't that bad, but for some people it was, and you'll see why.
Yeah.
So I pull up to the light where I'm about to turn left, and this shows you how like having a trash car, you do not care, okay? I'm chilling at the light. I'm waiting to turn left. It's red right now. And it turns green. And like I'm about to start. I look, you know how you just glance at your back mirror?
Yeah.
I glance for a second. I'm like, I'm about to get hit. I see a car just like racing down the road.
Oh my God.
And he hits me from behind. Like
hard?
Like hard enough that like everything in the middle dash like popped out, right?
Yeah. Why didn't you sprawl out and act like your neck was broken? Hello, insurance
okay.
money.
I was like, and then literally I got hit and I was like, oh, it's my turn to turn. I just kept going. I turned around thinking, okay, maybe the person behind me will turn around too. They just kept driving. So there's like 3 guys on the corner who saw this happen. They're all just smoking there looking at me. I get out of the car. I look at the back. I'm like, oh, nothing there. I get back in the car and I just drive back to the venue.
I thought he hit you pretty hard. There was no damage?
He hit me like
because I saw your car today. I'm like, where did he get hit?
Yeah, but like this car, I'm telling you guys, I drive a 2003 Toyota. Is it Corolla?
Yeah.
Yeah, Toyota Corolla.
This car has ask me for confirmation.
I've had this car for 20 years and I still don't know. Like what I mix it up between Toyota Corolla and Camry. But like I get out, I look at it, and it's been through so much that there could have been damage there, like some scratch paint, but I wouldn't be able to tell because it already has multiple scratches, and not from me, okay? Clearly not from me. It's from my mom who drove it before me, and I took it from him, okay? I'm like, you know what, I'll take the car, I'll pay for everything, and I'll just take it from you guys. Honestly, so I took it already with like, you know, it's been through a lot.
Listen.
It's been through a lot.
As your sister cousin?
Yeah.
This is the year.
We're
going to get you a new car.
I tell people.
I know we were focusing on the wife last year, but this time I think we need to focus on the car.
No, I was actually saying like to people, I was like, I'm going to drive this car until the wheels fall off. Like it has to die on me. And it's died a couple times, but like
what more are you waiting for? You keep resuscitating
I've been able to resuscitate it, and that's why I've kept it around.
Oh my
She's treated me well for the past 20 years, you know. So why don't I let her live out her last days, you know, in like
just let her go quietly.
Treat her normally. What?
Just like leave her there, and then you can just
put her down or something.
Yeah, it's time. Sell her for parts.
I probably could like sell her to someone else. I like how we just we named it her. Like we just gave it a gender right away.
I don't know why.
Huh?
I don't know why, but like, I can't believe you didn't just like, you know, lay there and act like collect your coins.
I was not missing the show. Okay, I was like,
it's not even that.
What?
You just wait until he gives you his insurance. Let him drive off.
Yeah, but I don't know how the insurance stuff works because when I got off the parents, like I was like, okay, I'll pay for the insurance, but like.
Listen,
okay, I'm not gonna go out.
Don't admit to any.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Allegedly.
we have had some of our lawyer friends.
Yeah,
give us some
make sure you guys watch what you're saying about these people. You know what's funny?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, I was about to go on another tangent, but I was watching another TikTok, and speaking of like the whole marriage thing, this guy was like, and he was speaking about having kids, right? And he said like the reason a lot of people are growing up with like issues or mental health issues and weird relationships with their kids is because like a lot of people had kids to fulfill an answer. And until you start doing something until you do it to not fulfill an answer, then that's when you'll have a healthy relationship, if that makes sense.
Can you elaborate on that?
So like people they'll be in a marriage and maybe the marriage isn't going so well. And their answer is like, oh, let's have a kid. That will bring us together stronger. but really you just end up making it worse. You maybe take it out on the kid, and then the kid grows up all messed up, or they grow up with certain issues or relationship issues with you, and there's a lot of issues with that. Or like you're just bored and you're like, I need something in my life to like bring some joy back to my life, and you have a kid for that. Or what's another example?
But that's the same thing as people who get married because they feel like their life is not complete.
That's the other thing I was gonna say is like, when it comes to making marriage, when you're making that decision, it's like if you're making that decision to fulfill an answer, being like, I'm what do you call it again? I'm missing like. I just want someone to hold in my life or something like that.
Yeah.
And you get into marriage for just that reason without like first realizing that, you should first love yourself and all that kind of stuff. Then you might end up putting things on your partner or in that relationship that shouldn't be there, and actually make it
like more of a toxic
relationship. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think when you are looking for a spouse and your reasoning behind why you want to be married is because you don't feel complete within yourself, then you're going to start to put like a very unrealistic, like huge expectation on your partner to fulfill those needs for you, which is like...
Exactly. Or like what a lot of people might do is they get married because they feel like they're being pressured by their family to do it.
Yeah, that too.
Like, or by friends, or because
like
they're at a certain age, they feel like they have to get married, and they're trying to like just do it because they feel like they have to. That's when you start to have certain issues come up, or like you start maybe looking over things, or and get into a relationship that you shouldn't be in.
Like you're settling, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you feel like you're starting to feel that pressure, or are you kind of just like?
Well, I feel like maybe that's why I haven't gotten married, because like I'm just not ready yet.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I see it is
not
like,
saying that's my answer, but like
no,
just,
But the way that I see it, like I feel like I felt the pressure as soon as I turned 18, a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then I think like, for me, my mom really stressed the importance of like finishing school first. Like that was like the biggest thing for her.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, fine. And then, I think now at this point, like, I've seen a lot of people, whether I know them personally or just like online or whatever the case is, but I've seen people who kind of rush into or like really put pressure on themselves or have pressure on them to get married. They get married and then they're like very unhappy.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to do is take away, my life as a single person, now be, in a committed relationship and not be happy. Like, I think, especially for me, I feel like I've worked so hard on where I am today. Like, alhamdulillah, I'm like the happiest I am now. And like, I know myself better now than I ever have in my entire life. Yeah. That like, I could never see myself settling for someone to just then live a life of unhappiness. Like, why would I do that? Yeah. So like, I get it. There's the biological clock ticking, as they say, but also like everything's written for us. You know what I mean? Like, I can stress about it and I can like feel down about it, but like that's not going to change my situation. Yeah. So I'm just going to go with the flow. Whenever Allah wills for it to happen, it'll happen. So I'm chilling until then. I'm going to live my best life. So
okay, yeah. So that was just a little tangent there. Huh?
Like I think, I'm sure I know you feel it, because I hear people who comment on it all the time, on a weekly basis even, where they're like, Amir, why don't you? Yeah. Whether it's our DMs or people who know you in the community or aunts and uncles and whatever the case is. And like, I hear too. And I just say that answer. Make dua for me whenever Allah wills for it to happen, it'll happen. Exactly. And I know like no one's going to ever question that, right? Because they're going to be like, yeah, you're right. But like, for example, I don't think my aunt is going to listen to this episode, but today I was talking to my aunt and there's a wedding happening somewhere in the States. And she's like, why didn't you come to this wedding? And I was like, because I literally wasn't invited. She's like, well, it was a good opportunity for you to meet guys. I was like, sorry, what? I'm not just gonna go to a wedding that I wasn't invited to just to meet some. Like, it's all good. You can scout the scene for me though if you want to. And she's like, oh, I will. And I'm like, that was a joke. I didn't mean that, but okay. Like, I think I might have screwed myself, but I feel like now all the money that I feel like this is more relevant for a guy, but all the money that you make can still stay with you. You don't have to split your income for somebody else.
Wait, what?
Like, until you get married. I'm saying like enjoy the single life where all your income is only for you and you don't have to spend on someone else.
Exactly.
But, don't worry. Ramadan's coming up. I'll make dua for you.
Inshallah. But yeah, let's get back to, that was just a small tangent there, but
I know. Back to living in Antarctica, basically.
So we're at the part where I pulled up to the show. Y'all pulled up too.
I'm really like annoyed with you, Raylo.
Why?
Why didn't you? I can't get over the fact that you just let the guy drive away. He literally did a hit and run.
Yeah, but like it's the middle of a snowstorm. For me, like when I looked at the car and I saw that it was fine, I was like, the amount of work that would go into like figuring out that whole situation with insurance and the crash, and like there's nothing to see for the damage to begin with. All of that was Amir, not worth it.
The damage could be in here.
She's pointing to her heart.
Oh yeah, for those that are listening, the damage could be on the inside.
I literally could care less.
You could have been put through like
couldn't care less.
Like emotional distress.
If it was a newer car.
Yeah.
If it was a newer car, for sure, I would have like stopped and like done all of that.
Yeah.
But when it's a 20-year-old car that's already been through the ringer at this point,
I guess
like
see your
you're
point.
not that's why like I kind of prefer to drive in a cheap car because I really don't care when things happen to it.
You know what? I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Like, not that I even have a car.
That's why I have no car drive to have a new car.
I know, but like when it dies, you're gonna have to get a new car.
Yeah. And I'll just get another used car.
Yeah, but it's still gonna be newer.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get like a rundown car. You're gonna get something that's more reliable that'll last you.
Yeah.
So you're still gonna take.
Probably just get another newer Toyota.
Actually, Toyota has this new car called the Crown.
What?
Yeah, I'll show you later. It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I should get that.
Okay, we'll look that up.
But yeah, so when I left my house, because I left before you to pick up Nabat.
Yeah.
It wasn't snowing. And then by the time I got onto the highway, which is like 2 minutes from my house, it's like light flurries. I'm like, oh, this is fine. I could drive in this. By the time I got to her, it was pretty bad. Yeah. She gets in the car and I'm like, okay, it's kind of bad. But it looked so pretty that like as I was admiring, like the car would slip a little. I'm like, oh, let me just. I've never driven with my hands on 10 and 2.
Oh no, you had to at this point.
Yeah, because usually I keep them at like I'll do one hand at the bottom.
Yeah.
There was no way. I was so stressed and like I literally had to sit upright like this driving, and I felt like such a grandma. But like I couldn't. I didn't want to risk getting into an accident. Yeah. And then when we got there, we parked. Everything was fine-ish. Until we left.
Okay. Like, well, we're skipping the show.
Yeah,
okay,
we'll talk about the show. I'll talk about what happened when we left afterwards. Yeah. I was really for me. Like I was very surprised at the turnout. Like I don't know why I thought like people would kind of just
because of the snow and all that.
And he gave some people the option in the email that he sent. Yeah. That like if some of you due to the storm we're not canceling, but if some of you want to like either return your tickets or exchange it for tomorrow, no problem. But like it was a packed house. Yeah. And the setup was really sick. Like I thought it was really well done.
He had a really good setup. Like you could tell he was gearing up for a special or what it was for a special because he made it special. Exactly.
And then I guess he had 2 openers and I thought they were pretty funny too. Yeah. And then you went to the bathroom. Did you go to the bathroom before his set or?
Oh, okay. So the show starts. Yeah. And he has the first opener. And I don't know what was going on that day, but I was going to the washroom like every 30 minutes to an hour. It just happens like once a month, once or twice a month kind of thing. Oh. It just happened to be happening on that night. So first off, literally like halfway to the event, I had to jump out of the car. I had no choice.
What you actually did?
I like parked right after I got off the highway. I like threw the car into park, like as it's still probably moving. I jump out. I run into the closest bushes I could find.
Oh my God. And it was probably snowing hard too, right?
It was. So I didn't care. My shoes got all wet, whatever. Okay. And then I get back into the car and I drive to the event. Yeah. For some reason, the moment I finish parking and I actually find a spot, I have to go again. And this is like 30 minutes later. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go inside the venue and I'll find one there, right? And I guess because of the snow, we weren't able to get into the actual event space for like a good 30 to 40 minutes.
Yeah, because they were checking people in one by one.
Exactly. And because I was there like right when around 8 o'clock when the show was supposed to start, it was already filled in the like waiting area. So me and a few other guys had to stand outside. and I was struggling. I was jumping around, trying to hold it, doing the pee dance and all that, all of that. And my feet were done at that point because I was standing in the snow in Converse because I didn't think I would be standing outside for too long, right?
God.
So finally, we're let inside, and I like book it to the washroom. And I start using it, and I go to sit down. And at this point, I'm already nervous that it's gonna happen again, and I feel like just that nervousness, like, just makes it happen even faster.
Yeah.
Because the first opener is going up, and I'm already like, I don't even have to go, but I'm like, I feel like I'm going to have to go.
And
it's weird. It's a weird feeling.
He looked at me. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to use the bathroom soon." I was like, "Just go now."
This was like after. Was it after the first opener? Shoot, I can't remember. Okay. Now I remember. So this first opener, he was going, and I started feeling it build up. And then the second opener came out because they happened so quickly, and because of how the setup was, is like it's almost like whenever you see like a TV show setup, like there's a set in front and there's a crowd in the. I mean, there's a set in front of you and your crowd's like all watching it, right? But the cameras were on the side, and there was no proper exit without having to walk across the stage area.
Yeah.
So. Like there was the only opportunity to go to the washroom was when they were swapping the comedians, but it happened so quickly that I had to just book it, like run at one point and go in the middle of the second opener set. But I was able to go on to like the side, like the backstage area.
Yeah.
But because of that, I didn't know about this. They didn't have any like, I guess, set up for people who might want to go to the washroom and come back. So I came back from the washroom. They're like, yeah, there's no way to get in.
Wait, couldn't you just go around and come through the way that we first came in?
Nah, because that whole area was covered up too.
Oh.
Yeah. So I came back, and the security guy's like, yeah, you're just going to have to like stand here and maybe we'll find a time.
Yeah.
And at this point, Hassan's already up and he's doing the show.
Yeah.
So I'm just standing there, and like, I've already been to a few of his shows, and because it's special, like it's a lot of the same jokes because that's how it typically is, right? So I'm standing there. And a good 10 minutes goes by, and I look behind me, and all I see is Nabat pulling up.
She left, like maybe like after you left, she was like, you know what, I think I'm just going to go too.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. They'll be back in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
And then, so Nabat pulls up, and she's waiting. She's like, okay, when can we go up? I'm like, honestly, Nabat, I think this is how we're watching the show. So we're literally just standing on the side watching the show go on. And a good like another 10 minutes goes by. We see two other people pull up who happened to go to the washroom who were sitting right next to us.
Yep,
so I guess they all had the same idea as well, right? So they're standing there too. So now it's like a crowd forming up on the side. And then like two more people come up.
Oh no.
Who I guess they were late to the show.
Okay.
And they were standing there and they were just watching from the side. They're like, you guys going up? I'm like, nah, I don't think so. Because I don't even know if there's enough seats at the top. I can't remember now. So
no, it was a completely filled, and then there were chairs on the other side, like behind this.
Yeah, exactly. So those two people ended up. I didn't notice this until later, but they ended up going like there was a little opening on the back of the stage or like the seats. Is like a leveled up seat, and there was an opening behind it. So they walked through there, and there's an area to sit down for like the openers and the managers and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
so they sat there.
Okay,
but I think they couldn't actually see Hassan. They had to watch it through like a TV.
Oh,
yeah. So they were doing that, and yeah, at that point we just accepted our fate and we just watched the whole show from the sidelines there, which honestly was fine. Like literally at the end of it, Nabat and I were just sitting down on the floor watching him from there with the photographer.
Yeah,
and it was a good angle. Like we could still see everything, so we were fine with that.
Yeah.
But that was definitely like an interesting experience with the show.
At first, I'm like, damn, like he really had to go. Like, that's taking him so long. And then Nabat left. She didn't come back.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting there by myself, like, where'd they go? And then she texted me and she's like, so we're stuck back here. Just to let you know. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Exactly. So
I mean,
yeah, Hassan, next time. For the people with small bladders, you gotta make exceptions.
I mean, I think that was out of his control. I don't think he even realized. Yeah. But I thought like he would have had some sort of intermission between the last opener and him.
Yeah, exactly. I thought there was gonna be an intermission too, but I guess Also, it's because the time was also delayed because of the storm. So I feel like they kind of had to keep things going because there was another show after us.
I know.
Which I was surprised. I was like, how is there going to be another show after this?
He didn't even think that they were showing up. That's why he kept going. Yeah. And he's like, wait, there are people outside? Shoot. All right, guys.
So, shout out to those people. Hopefully they made it home.
Yeah.
Because I know, I thought I wasn't going to make it home that night. Like, I was going to have issues.
Yeah.
And I don't think that drive could have gone any smoother. Alhamdulillah. Like, literally, I got in the car. The roads were, because people were still driving throughout that whole evening, like the roads had enough grooves in them where I could just like follow the groove.
Yeah.
And I took like the regular roads. And because the venue was not too far from my house, it took me like 20 minutes to get home. And like, I'll tell you right now, when I got home, I was chilling at home. I was eating my food. I even stopped to get food at one point, and I was just sitting there. It was good. Like 30 minutes later, and I get a text from the batch. She's like, "Are you home?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm home." And she's like, "Oh, we're still on the highway."
Let me tell you what happened.
Yeah.
So we're leaving now. Like Amir goes to his car. I'm going to my car with Nabat, and my car. Like it's not an SUV, but it's also not a sedan.
Yeah.
It's like a mix between the two.
Yeah.
So this car is like,
it's a hatchback.
Is it a hatchback?
Yeah. It has a hatch. It's a hatchback. No?
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know. It's a Toyota Venza. So like whatever type of car that is.
Yeah.
But it's big. So I can't even reach the top of the car. But Nabat was like, oh, you should clean it off so that it doesn't like slide while you're driving. So I'm there cleaning the snow off of my car, which is also a man's job, by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just felt the need to say that out there. But anyways, by the time I was done cleaning the car, my jacket, my scarf, because I also parked right under a tree. So the tree was just like throwing snow at me.
Yeah.
So I was drenched. So I took off all my jacket, my scarf, everything. And then I sat with just my sweater and the heat was on high. So I was good. Now I'm trying to like maneuver my way, but the snow built up on the side. So I really had to I was stuck at one point. I'm trying to get out. Eventually I make it onto the main road, and then Nabat looks up the way
GPS,
home.
Yeah.
She's like 33 minutes, that's fine. And I'm like, are you sure? Like I see the little crash symbol, and
never trust.
I heard you on the phone saying don't take the main roads.
Yeah.
But she looked at me and
no, I told her not to take the highway.
Sorry, yes, not to take the highway, but to take the main road.
What did you guys take?
And then she was like, I don't really know how to take the main roads home. And I was like, okay, well, let me know what to do. Like, I'm like, I don't know where to go, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, you got to be my co-pilot. Come on. So then we were like, whatever, we're just going to take the risk and get on the highway. So I get on.
That's literally the worst decision you could have made.
I get on, but the entrance to, which highway was it? It wasn't.
You're going probably up from Dundas or something.
Yeah, but what was the
or
highway?
York Mills?
Was it the DVP?
Yeah, the DVP.
So how when you first get on, it's like that really windy, like very one lane road.
Yeah.
So I was going maybe 30 kilometers, like very slow, and it was like kind of slippery.
Yeah.
But I felt safe enough because the car is big enough. So I'm like, it'll be fine. I'm just gonna go slow and I'll be good. We get on and it's pretty clear so far. So I'm like, oh yeah, it was at Dundas. Yeah. Right where the pizza is. That's Dundas, right?
The pizza.
Yeah, when you're where the bridge is.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I get on and it's clear-ish, but everyone's going extremely slow. So I'm driving, whatever, and I'm like, there's no one on the road. Let me pick up the pace a little bit. So I pushed my gas to go at 40, and then I was swerving. So I was like, never mind. We're driving 25 all the way home. So we're driving, and then eventually I see a bunch of red lights. So I'm like, damn. There has to be an accident or something. Then I realize it's because they're the trucks that are cleaning the road. Yeah. But no one's everyone's afraid to go around them for some reason. So now we're all stuck. Yeah. And the thing that let me tell you what pissed me off, okay? It was a bunch of small cars who, for some reason, because they were trying to maneuver around the truck, they would go to the very edge, the very last lane, the left lane. But no one drives there, so they're obviously going to get stuck. Yeah. But they're stuck sideways, so they're blocking 2 lanes now. And I'm like...
That's why I said, the GPS, for some reason, Google's all GPSs never take into account the weather.
It showed that there was an accident, even though I don't think that there was. Yeah, it was just cars that were getting stuck, and tow trucks were there and everything, right? So then we finally move a little bit. Some guy gets brave, goes around the salt trucks or whatever, the shovels. So now we're on our way again, still going slow, and then at this point we're at a full halt, we've stopped the car. Yeah. And because the snow was coming down so heavy, like it was so bad that like the snow started to like pile up on my windshield wipers. So I'm like, you know what, let me just park the car real quick and I'll just wipe it off. Because like
in the middle of the highway,
yeah, the car wasn't moving. Like we were parked at this point. Like,
yeah.
So then Nabat's like, oh, it's fine, I'll do it. Nabat gets out, she's cleaning it
with her bum leg.
Nah, she's fine now. She's got a little limp. It gives her some character. So she cleans it off.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, get back in the car, we're good. And my back mirror, the blind spot one,
yeah,
completely covered in snow.
Yeah.
So I'm like, just clean that one so I can see when I'm changing lanes.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, cool. She gets back in, we're driving a little bit more. Now it's like multiple cars are stuck and I'm just trying to like squeeze my way in, right? So we're trying to figure it out. And the thing is we were so friggin' close to her exit. We were so close. Yeah. But so far at the same time.
That's how I felt on, remember the New Year's drive thing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but you were like stuck. Like this was like...
You were moving at least a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So then after, like, when I tell you, it took us 2 hours to get home. We left at 10:40 and we got to her apartment. It was like 12:35-ish.
I think I was literally like... I watched like a show I was doing some work. I was editing something, and an hour later you guys still weren't home.
Yeah, we saw like, okay, so people did eventually get into accidents. Like one person hit the middle divider thing.
Yeah. How did they hit the divider?
I don't know. Yeah. I honestly don't know. And then they're just people sprawled everywhere. Yeah. Some people gave up and just parked their cars and they're like shoveling. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. You know when they're using the brush to clean the snow? Oh. Like they got desperate. Yeah. And so then I was my strategy, and I feel like it's a very smart strategy. I already have a big car, so I saw the little cars following me because they're like, she's making good way for us. I followed all the pickup trucks because they were just zooming. Yeah. So I'm like, let me just go exactly on their tracks. If they're swerving, I'm swerving too. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You just go. It's like those train tracks where you
exactly. Just that's exactly what I did. Yeah. And then eventually, we finally got off the DVP. Yeah. We made it to her house, and then I had to make the decision of like, should I even try to go home?
I don't think it was a choice at that point.
I know. At this point, I was like, it's 12:30. I'm really tired. Yeah. I'm just gonna sleep over. So that's what I slept over, and then when I drove home the next day, the roads were clear. Oh, were they? All like the main roads were clear. The main roads, yeah. But I literally was telling her this. I'm like, are you even Canadian if you don't even drive through one blizzard? Like, I feel like you need to drive through at least one. Yeah. In order for you to like be initiated into like
your Canadian identity.
Exactly. And so, you know, alhamdulillah, we all made it home alive. Amir made it home alive.
Yeah. Or if you're not a non-driver, you have to at least get stuck in one TTC shuttle bus.
Shuttle buses are the worst. Oh, don't even give me. That's a whole other topic for a whole other day. Yeah. TTC. We're not gonna.
Thank God. Like, I don't think I've ever like experienced the whole TTC issue.
Honestly, like I've
had to pick up someone from that, but never myself.
From the shuttle?
Yeah, like my mom multiple times when back in the day when she was working like regularly. Yeah. There was multiple times where she would call me like, even I wouldn't be done work yet. Like she'd be going home.
Where would she be stuck?
She'd be stuck like somewhere on the Danforth. Oh. Because they shut down the trains for some reason. Yeah. In the middle of a snowstorm. And she's like, I'm not waiting for 15 shuttle buses to pass me by.
I know.
And she's already like, she already has like very little maneuverability. What do you call it? Mobility. So being able to catch those while people are pushing you and stuff.
Yeah, not worth it. Yeah. Not worth it. Honestly, like I haven't taken the TTC in a while. I just take the GO train now because.
Yeah, because we privileged like that.
Privileged, one, but also I don't want to get stabbed or attacked by a crazy person on the TTC. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's our privilege talking right there.
That is our privilege.
I'm joking.
Okay, let's get into our next.
But yeah, that was the crazy our experience with the snowstorm.
If it wasn't Hassan, I don't think I would have left my house. Yeah, I would have requested a refund. Okay.
Also, he personally like asked us to come. So like,
exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so the other day, I was in the gym like I usually am. You know, after my walks. and I'm doing something for the first time I haven't done in a long time. You know, I always talk about working out, you know, lifting heavy and all that stuff, but I absolutely hate doing abs. And now I know why, okay? I was doing abs, like crunches, weighted crunches, and I like finish up doing the crunches and I'm supposed to get down to do planks, right? So I do one set of that. I do the crunches and I do the planks. I'm done. And then I'm waiting for my second one. I start doing my second one and I finish my crunches and I feel a weird twinge. I like get off because I'm on the one that's like elevated and you're kind of at an angle. I get off and I stand up. And when I tell you, I literally felt the worst pain in my whole life come out of my lower abdominal muscle. Like, I think I know what birth feels like at this point.
All right,
okay?
all right. I'm going to stop you there.
No, I'm telling you, Sara.
I'm going to stop. Listen.
I'm telling you, okay?
I know I'm not a feminist. I know I'm not a feminist, but listen.
No.
For all my girls out there.
I'll tell you. Okay.
Women.
No, this pain was so strong and so like crippling in the middle of the gym while I'm surrounded in people. This is rush hour time, right? All you see is a guy fall to his knees, clutching his what do you call it? His abs, and like about to cry. Like literally, there's one point where like, you know how you're trying to fold into it? Like you're trying to fold into the pain. I could not fold anymore. I was doing like downward dog. I was doing all the movements or whatever, the turtle movement, all that to try and get rid of this pain. And it was not going away. It was getting worse. It was like, when I tell you this pain, I was like, kill me now.
What?
I'd rather, this is how hard. I have no idea. I have never felt a cramp like this in my life. To the point where like,
Did you do a heavy
was trying
set?
to like press it and stab it. I'm like feeling it right now as I'm talking about it. That's why I'm pressing it on the video. You can see.
You're cramping again?
No, I can like the residual pain. Like I can, it's like coming back to me. That's how much it hurt. You want to get like PTSD? I have PTSD from this pain.
Oh my
I don't know if I'll ever do
God.
that ab workout ever again or any ab workout. When I like this pain and finally like it started to reside a little bit.
Yeah.
And I stood up and like I was scared to take a step.
What?
I literally did not want that to feel that ever again in my life.
I love the
was
feeling
scared
of
to
pain
step.
from crunches though.
No, this is not a pain. This was a cramp.
I think, did you like overload
Like a muscle
your set?
cramp.
Did you overload the weights?
No, I was just doing the weights like I normally do. Like I was, putting good effort and all that.
What if your appendix bursted?
You know what I did think? I thought I had a hernia.
Oh,
Do you know what hernia is?
I do,
yeah, I thought I had a hernia. Like I was feeling around to be like, did my like
Did you get checked out?
intestines pop out?
Did you get checked out?
No. What, are you supposed to get checked out? What?
Zoom into my face so you could really
What?
see my reaction. He thought he had a hernia, but he didn't get it checked out.
Are you supposed to get that checked out?
No shit, Sherlock.
Oh,
if you
shit.
feel anything that doesn't feel right,
But like
in
there's
your
no
body,
bump there or anything right now. So I'm good.
Like, did you feel pain for a while afterwards?
I felt pain for like a good day or two after that.
Amir,
What?
are you? No, you're joking.
Like a little bit, like residual
And
pain.
not once did you think I should probably go get this checked out.
No, it's gone now.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. That was literally.
You stressed me out.
I say literally a lot because
do.
I am being literal. Okay. But that was actually the worst pain I've ever felt in a long time, and I left the gym. I was supposed to do a few more workouts. I just left the gym.
You should have went straight to the emergency room.
Nah, I was fine after that.
But
Like,
you don't. I mean, I guess if your appendix bursted, you would have been in excruciating pain.
I don't think it was my appendix because I knew it was related to my ab workout because I've gotten cramps from abs before. But like this one was just significantly worse than I've ever felt
Did you
before.
like pop a blood vessel or something?
I don't know. But now literally as I'm like talking about it, I'm feeling like pain from it again. But I think that's like a phantom pain, like where something,
It's because you're talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I'm actually getting heated from it right now.
If you are in pain like tomorrow,
Mm-hmm. No, I'm good now. It happened like a few days ago or a week ago. And I'm doing bare workouts since then. So
have you tried an ab workout since then?
Like I do like lifting weights. Like I did a deadlift the next day, which require a lot of like abdominal strength. So
yeah, but like, did you do like a plank or another?
No.
Maybe try it.
Oh no. Actually, no. I did do L sits, like 30-second L sits.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what those are?
You mean like a wall sit?
No, like you hang and you like
and
you make an L with you put up your legs and you hold it for 30 seconds.
Gotcha.
And that's all lower abs. So I know that if I was able to do that for 3 sets, then I'm good.
Okay,
Yeah.
but like I'm just saying.
Nah.
I really think you should consider getting checked out.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's a gentleman who goes by the name Crosley Green.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1989, he was falsely accused of murder.
Okay.
And he was put in front of an all-white jury.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the evidence was withheld by the prosecutors. And he was he was actually put on death row for this murder. Even though he wasn't at the scene, there were two witnesses who were the officers who said that there's enough evidence here to show that the ex-girlfriend of the person who was murdered, of the guy who was murdered, is the actual murderer. Mm-hmm. And the prosecutors, they knew this evidence, but withheld it. And they only took the witness account of guess who?
The ex-girlfriend?
The ex-girlfriend who was at the scene. Yes.
Was the one who was murdered white?
I believe so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And this happened...
I was going to say, before we take a deep dive into this, let's just take a quick break so I can do some breathing exercises.
Okay, now we're back. And now that I've set the scene. Mm-hmm. So this happens in 1989. He's convicted in 1990, right? Mm-hmm. All white jury. Clearly, everything was held against him. And then he spent 32 years in jail.
Damn.
But he always maintained his innocence. He always said, I'm innocent. He was fighting it. And eventually, I believe in 2018, they were able to get him a retrial. They're like,
wow, how?
Because they're saying there's all this evidence that wasn't shown, and because there's a lot of lawyers out there who will do pro bono work for people who are falsely accused and convicted. Mm-hmm. So he was one of those cases, and he was able to get a retrial. Mm-hmm. And then in 2021, he was actually able to get out. As the trial was going on, he was able to get house arrest. So he's actually able to leave the prison after 32 years of being in prison. Damn. Falsely in prison, right? Mm-hmm. And you'd think okay, so now that they can show the evidence, they'll clearly see that it wasn't him or whatever. Mm-hmm. And apparently for some reason, I can't remember why, but they ended up petitioning to the Supreme Court.
Okay.
To take up his case and to exonerate him, get him off for this, right?
Right.
And if they didn't take it, then he would have to actually go back to prison.
Oh.
Yeah. So that in 2021, he's let out, right?
Yeah.
It's been 2 years.
Right.
And it was finally his turn. It was his turn to get in front of the Supreme Court to hear his case and hopefully get him off for this completely, right?
I hope he had the best lawyer.
Well, guess what?
What?
The Supreme Court didn't take up the case.
Why not?
There's no reason. They said, oh, we don't have time for this case. So because of that, he's been, first off, for the 2 years that he's been out, he's been a model citizen. He's been working. He's been spending time with his family. He's 65 years old now. He literally, what is he going to do, right?
Yeah.
He didn't do anything to begin with, but he hasn't done anything to raise suspicion that he would be a detriment to society at any point. Mm-hmm. They didn't take up his case, so now he actually has to go back to prison and is to work out or finish the rest of his sentence
before they put him on death row. Oh
no, he actually in 2018 he was taken off of death row.
Okay.
And just for life in prison. Because initially he was convicted to be on death row. He spent 20 years on death row, and then in 2018 he was let off of death row and just given life in prison. And then in 2021 he was again given another retrial, but was able to stay on house arrest house arrest until they actually saw his case. Mm-hmm. And that was 2 years ago. And then finally in 2023 they're supposed to see his case, and they dismissed it. They didn't dismiss it. They didn't take it up at all. So now he literally has to go back to prison as a 65-year-old who's been a model citizen. And this is you hear this case, you're like, oh, this must be a 1 in a million thing. This happens all the time.
I was just going to say
all the time.
Unfortunately, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. And it goes back to that thing. I think I mentioned it a few episodes ago for when we were talking about more Black history and stuff. This happens so often. The main thing I want to get to is that why isn't this the biggest case?
I was just gonna say
in America at this moment.
I literally
you heard nothing, right?
I had no idea. This is my first time hearing about it.
Yeah, and that was my biggest issue when I heard this story. I'm like, how is this not the biggest news?
I feel
across America at the moment,
unless he or his family and friends kind of go towards social media, which seems to be the trend in the last couple of years, that's how you kind of gain traction and gain media attention. Like, that's probably the only way that we could really hear about it.
But it was on social media when he got out initially.
Oh,
everyone's celebrating. Oh, he's out.
Yeah.
But now they're not going to care that he's actually having to go back.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Like, I wanted to just say this because I feel like more people should be aware of it.
Of course.
Because unfortunately, there's something that's happening all the time in America. Like, the justice system is like very.
It's anything but just.
Yeah, unjust in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
But I was more disappointed that this wasn't a bigger topic in a lot of these communities where they're always touting these like injustices that are going on in the Black community.
Right.
And you have a clear case right here that can be used as like a good example of what's going on or what's wrong with the justice system, but it's not being talked about. It was literally, I heard this story through like a video from Philip DeFranco of all people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he covered it.
He covered it, but it was just one story he covered. And then since then, like the thing is, I feel like Philip DeFranco is a good source for like a lot of these kind of cases where that would normally be missed. But what's going on? Close the door. What are you doing recording? Oh my God. Yeah, Philip DeFranco would be like a good example of someone who's always picking up these smaller stories that most people wouldn't hear about.
Yeah.
Because he's posting now he's posting 7 days a week.
Does he really?
Yeah, he used to post recently. He only changed that, like literally last week.
Yeah.
But he was only posting, I think, 4 days a week, and then on Sunday he would do like a recap of all the stories he spoke about and like updates on those. But now, because he sees like there are a lot of these, unfortunately, because of how YouTube works, and maybe this is in part and why we're not hearing about it, is that YouTube doesn't allow people to monetize stories that have to do with like prison or anything that would be seen in like a negative light or something controversial. Something that's controversial. Even if this one, it shouldn't be controversial, it's still considered controversial by YouTube. So if someone puts up a video with the story included in it or makes it the main focus of the video, they're most likely not going to get monetized. So there's no incentive for someone to cover it because a lot of the incentives come down to money, right?
Right.
So he now started posting on extra days like Saturday or Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so that like he's okay with those videos not being monetized because he just covers one or two stories that he feels like are important, but may not be good for his main videos because he knows they're going to get demonetized for those reasons.
But does he still get the same amount of views when he uploads it on Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Well, because those videos also get suppressed since they're controversial, they don't get as many views either. So before he used to include everything in his main videos, but because his videos started getting suppressed, because he would talk about things that needed to be talked about, he literally had to make the choice, be like, okay, I still want to cover these stories, but I can't put them in my main video, so I'm going to make them individual videos and put them on the day where I normally don't post.
That's kind of annoying.
It is. But yeah, hopefully by speaking about this, more people can hear about it, and it can be covered more by a lot of the Black creators who should be covering things like this.
I hope so. Yeah. I mean, like, I feel like we are just a broken record at this point. Like, I don't know.
I'm not going to blame even the white community or white or not white, but like I'm not going to blame. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off there. I cut you off. Okay, my bad. Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say I wasn't gonna blame them either. It's just like at this point, maybe it's like because it happens so often, like the media just doesn't see it as like it'll only ever pick up traction if something big happens. Like for example, if someone who has somewhat of an influence, like a celebrity, happens to pay attention to this case. Like I know that happened with like Kim Kardashian, who sometimes has been able to, like, she'll hear out people's stories and she'll really help get them exonerated. Yeah, she's done that for a couple of people, and I think like that part of her work I admire. It'd be cool if she could help this guy out, but I don't know how she would.
But this is unique in that it wasn't exonerated. He was let out. Yeah. Which is usually when they get the most traction of people listening. And I believe he did at that point. But now he's being sent back, which is something you don't normally hear.
Is it because people just don't know that he was sent back, and that's why like everyone just assumes that he's out and that's it?
Well, yeah, if it's not covered, people are just going to assume, okay, he's good to go, right?
Yeah.
Because people don't know about the differences of meaning, like, oh, he's now like he's let out on house arrest versus being like let out completely or fully exonerated from it. Like they just think, oh, he's let out, he's out, right? But they don't realize like, oh, he's let out, but he might. There's a chance for him to go back.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up, and I hope that like this story gets picked up in social media and kind of gains that traction, just for his sake, to maybe someone that has influence and power and resources can help him. But
we'll see.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Wait, why are you so quiet? I just realized how quiet you were.
I don't know. I'm hungry.
You know what I did notice?
What?
You get quieter throughout the episode. At the beginning of the episodes, you're always like at least mid-level, right?
What are you talking about?
At the end of the episodes, you're like minuscule sound. And how many times to fix the audio?
No, I feel like
y'all get full energy from me, okay? Top to bottom.
I feel like, okay, first of all, you had a banana. But I feel like you probably also had pre-workout today.
No. Well, I had it like early in the morning for my workout, yeah.
Oh. Our last topic for this week is, guys, there's like less than 3 weeks left before Ramadan. I was like, how many days? Doing the calculation in my head.
3 weeks, roughly.
Yeah, like 3-ish weeks, less than that, until Ramadan, which is so wild because I feel like... Actually, you know what? Last Ramadan did feel like a long time ago.
Did it? Actually, yeah, because a lot has changed since then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the previous time when we were still in COVID, like it felt like it was all blurred together.
Yeah.
But I can't wait. I'm so excited. I don't think people, if you're not Muslim, I don't think non-Muslims understand how excited we get for Ramadan, where in their minds are like, well, you can't eat for 30 days.
Yeah.
You know? But like there's so much more than just not being able to eat. It's like it's almost like a spiritual cleanse. You know, it's that time for Muslims to reset, to refocus. It's a month of devotion. I'm honestly just very excited, and I think we want to try something new on our channel.
Yeah, maybe, you know,
potentially.
Yeah.
We may do some sort of series.
Yeah, we have no idea we're doing yet, but we'll think about
we don't know. We're throwing it out there. I know we're not necessarily like a religious podcast. We cover every topic, but you know, I think it would be nice to incorporate the Muslim side of us for this month. If you have, we don't know what we're doing yet, but if you have any suggestions, send it our way and we'll consider them. I kind of have some ideas in my head that we'll talk about off camera, but we're definitely open to suggestions right now. Obviously the Ramadan series will be strictly during Ramadan, so we might just like shift our focus for those 4 weeks that we upload specifically for Ramadan and more Islamic religious content. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I was gonna say something, but I completely forgot. What was I gonna say? Okay. Oh yeah, I know I mentioned this like probably the last Ramadan and like this one. So when it comes to suhoor, okay, what you're looking to do, you know, I'm gonna give you some tips here, you know, for my lifters out there. Okay.
Can we just? I know this is gonna be a lot of editing for you, Amir.
What?
Can we just bring up that time that I asked you to bring? Was it suhoor ideas?
What?
Remember that time?
I can't remember now.
Or like,
I can't remember things like that. Okay.
It was something that was so funny where
what?
Oh my god! And it was really funny because you totally misunderstood what I said to you and you thought of something completely different. Do you remember that?
Maybe.
Last Ramadan, do you remember?
I can't remember a year ago, Sara. What are you talking about?
Where I think I asked you for suhoor ideas and you said something about like walking to the fridge. Do you remember that?
To the fridge.
Think hard, Amir.
Brain blast.
You have the Jimmy Neutron like visual. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. You don't remember that?
Huh?
You don't remember that? And I was like, what do you mean walking to the fridge? I meant like suhoor ideas. You know what? I have the Google Drive open.
I just do like a That's So Raven moment.
Just do
like,
this.
Wait, I need to look at the camera. Your goals are looking a lot like the ones I had, but you know.
Oh, really?
So I feel like you should just list them and, you know, just assume that we both have very similar goals, guys.
You know, that's funny that you said that.
Because like how different can goals really be, especially as a Muslim? I feel like we all strive to become better Muslims, and it really, the path isn't very different for all of us, you know?
Let's look at your list for a sec.
Well, like, okay, I sort of misinterpreted what you said.
Wait.
No, because I started writing some like random ones that came to thought, but they weren't really like goals. They're just like dumb things that I do. Like try not to open the fridge more than 5 times a day.
What?
I don't know, okay? My brain is not working right during Ramadan.
How is it a goal?
You forget sometimes. So like I'm trying to be stronger and being more steadfast during Ramadan. Okay? I don't remember that.
You don't? It was so funny.
I don't remember half the things I do, okay? But what is it going to say is that...
say it.
Okay, for suhoor, I mentioned this before, but just remember, guys, if you want to ease the hunger as much as possible throughout the day so you can focus on your activities and your prayers and all the things that you really want to focus on, make sure you're getting in your good proteins and good fats for suhoor in the morning. I know people don't like to eat a lot in the morning, so maybe throw in some, or you can get some like longer digesting carbs like oatmeal. I don't eat oatmeal personally, so I lean more towards the fat and the protein, but you can also have that, and it takes longer throughout the day for it to go through your system. I've mentioned this literally last year too, but yeah, just make sure you're getting in your proteins and fats in the morning, and you'll be satiated for the rest of the day. Just a little tip there for you, okay?
Okay, I found it.
What?
Like, try not to open the fridge. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but like, I barely remember. I can't remember things like that.
But this was such a funny moment.
My memory is so trash.
Maybe we'll insert the clip here.
Yeah.
Of the time that I told Amir, let's write our Ramadan goals.
Yeah.
And... you know, I meant goals for Ramadan, like spiritual goals, like religious goals. And he said, try not to open the fridge more than once in a day.
Hey, it's a goal. A goal is a goal.
A goal is a goal.
A goal is a goal.
That is.
And we've met our goal by, giving y'all a podcast today. And we'll see y'all. I don't know. Just remember to subscribe to the channel, okay? And if you're an audio listener, subscribe to the podcast on whatever you listen to on, and then go on YouTube and subscribe there, okay?
Yeah. And also... I heard that you can actually upload videos on Spotify now. One of our followers on Instagram DM'd me and told me that.
You can?
Yeah, you can upload the video. And I was like...
No. If you want to see the video, go to YouTube.
Oh, we're doing that exclusive. Okay, yeah. We're doing exclusive content on YouTube only.
Exactly.
As always, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. We will be back for another episode next week.
Yep.
So we'll see you then. Bye.